How you doing? How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It is us, TV, and it's your boy 𝐿AK, episode 2, baby. Yeah. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Um, Today I woke up feeling very confident, even more confident than I was feeling from before. Why? Because the older I get, the more I realize that the more you face illusions and what you think are stumbling blocks and walls, they're just mental barriers that we place upon ourselves that is preventing us from getting to the next level, right? And these blocks and walls have been placed on us by society, our family members, our friends, our surroundings. Um, they are habitual ways of thinking and living life, carried down and passed on by generation and generation, and people who enslaved us and paralyzed our way of thinking, and that created a domino effect and a viral effect in um, spreading a false narrative in why we see ourselves the way we see ourselves, and why we act the way we do, and why we carry ourselves the way that we carry ourselves. So over the time, we've been, um, brainwashed based upon our surroundings and our environment and our upbringing of who we are and what our identity is as a man, as a woman, and um, what characteristics we're supposed to have, and what role we're supposed to play, and stuff like that. And um, that is a domino effect. That is um, a poison that has been injected into our minds of why um, we can't do what we want to do because someone told us that we had to look a certain way, we had to walk a certain way, we had to act a certain way when we're in the presence of certain people. And if you don't know this, then you are not as of value to a situation because of the false narrative of someone else's dominance, right? So it's important to know your culture, your identity, and where you came from, and who came before you, and what they went through, so that when you study his story, you can make your story, right? And you now become the narrator and the director of your own novel or movie, and you start to change the paradigm in your movie script. And you can also pass that movie script down to your offspring so that they can take that movie script and create volumes and trilogies and remixes and spin-offs, and they can evolutionize the vision. But someone has to go over that hill and find out who they were and why they are, and how they took their existence and changed the concept of what it is to create your destiny. Um, Culture is very important. Culture is the finding identity. I say that because you want to know where you originated from. You want to know why you look the way you look. You want to know what traditions have been neglected or not been passed down to you, or why certain habitual behaviors have been placed upon you and you now feel the way that you do, and you feel as if um, you can't achieve certain things or live a certain way because of what someone told you that may have paralyzed you, which may have been a lie for the majority of your life. So in this process, you start to find out who you are, why you were conditioned like this, why your parents were conditioned like this, and why their parents were conditioned like this. And you now take that and you gain an awareness. So once you gain the awareness of who you are and why you think the way you think and why you move the way you move, you can now make a conscious decision, which is a choice, to now change that motive or change that story and and change your motives and change your source of direction, and get in tuned with the inner self, because what that does is you start to create an identity that you're now comfortable with, and you can walk in confidence, and that will take away anxiety, fear, and doubt, because all anxiety, fear, and doubt, and all those things they're just, they're real. They're real, but they're conditions that have been placed on you based off of putting your powers into the hands of people that you think should be validating you. And these people that are validating you, they are mind fucking you, and they're not even confident in what they do, and um, they will use that power to paralyze you. And once you figure that out, you would not put that power in someone else's hands. You will take that and go do your research and go do your work and talk to your family members, and go read books and go watch movies and go watch documentaries, and sometimes sit to yourself and meditate and find that inner strength and find that inner power, because within that process you start to tap into yourself. You start to get high off of who you are, and now you become that drug that everyone wants to indulge in. And that means presence. Your presence is what people are going to want to be a part of. They want to indulge in. They want to share your energy. They want to know how you think and how you feel the way you feel when you feel the way you feel it. And all that's going to do is going to glow you up and make you feel empowered, and it's going to show you um, who's who, what's what, and um, how to stretch your stuff. You understand? So a lot of times someone come around, and because they feel insecure and they have doubt, they'll pass it on to you. And in that state of conformity and misery, it's comfortable, and it's very uh, comforting to have a group of people feeling this way, because it's a sense of a relaxation that keeps you at a certain level. And once you're at that certain level, you're content with your results, and you're not really ready to go beyond that threshold that you placed upon yourself, because it feels good to know that someone is broken just like you. And we gotta break that curse, that mind state, because it's not comfortable. It's actually like drowning yourself. And every time you're about to die, you pull yourself back out the water, then you go back down in the water, and then you try to drown yourself again, and you come back out, then you drown. So it's a repetitious process of you trying to uh, uh, run and hide at the same time. So, and what that does is it becomes uh, a circus game. It's like that circus um, game where the person's sitting on a bench and someone's throwing a baseball and the baseball hits the target and then you go boom in the water. Then you drown. And you come back up, you sit again, and then someone throws another. So it's the same concept. It's like someone throwing their opinion at you, and every time they break you down, you go back in the water. And every time they break you down, they go back in the water. So when they break you down, they go back in the water. So that's one process or one metaphor of that concept. And there's a difference in taking someone's opinion and then also taking someone's critique. Within the critique, um, someone that you value is pinpointing something that you can change. And once you can change that, you can um, be aware of the things that you want to mold, because there's someone that's going to come around and they'll break you down and they're going to say you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, without an alternative or a solution to how you can change these things. And then there's also someone like mentors who you can go around and they can say, look, here's the things that I noticed about you, and here are these things that you need to work on. All right. Um, and some people have different approaches depending on how you like to receive information and how tough skinned you are. You know, some people are very straightforward and direct, and they'll tell you like, "Yo, you bullshitting. You like you're fucking up. Like you need help. You need to go do some shit." And then there's people that deliver messages in certain types of um uh misogynistic, whatever, in a softer way. I don't even know the word. I'm just say what I want to say. But there's people that have different approaches. There's therapy, there's mentors and stuff like that. But you yourself have to be willing to take that step, that leap, and you're gonna have to want to be broken down, and not broken down to the sense where um, you go into a shell and you hide and you become suicidal, but broken down into the sense of how do I destroy the self that I don't like and rebuild the self that I'm going to love unconditionally? How am I going to take the things that I think are flaws and use them as my powers? You know, how am I going to come to the realization that my flaws aren't even flaws? How am I going to come to the realization that I look the way I look because God created me the way that He created me, and now that's the beauty that I see because no one else looks like me, and now I have created my own form of uniqueness and beauty, and I can take this and use it as a platform, as a billboard to empower other people who have their own unique ways of looking and ways of doing things, and they have their own culture and they have their own choices, and I can still feel happy and empowered, and I can still feel like myself within these groups and these circles of people, knowing that I have my own identity, and that is my superpower that I can use, and I can uh, bring something to the table that's different from everyone else. So what are these things that we have to research? I don't want to go into depths of like books and like these ancient things. Like, that's on you. That's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to go out there and find out who, what, when, why, and let the how do the work. Like, you're gonna have to figure those things out because everyone has a different origin. Everyone has a different way of um, or a different path that they came from. The only thing that we know that we're all connected under the sun, right? So that's the common denominator. Because no matter what you do or how you do it, the sun is gonna come out and the moon is gonna come out, and you're always gonna be under the sun and the moon, the cloud, the skies, and the stars. But while you're there in that realm, how can you create an experience for yourself that is self-fulfilling and empowering to other people, right? And it doesn't even have to empower other people, but how can you make your existence and your life and your story the best-selling novel of your life? How can you move on in the new way of thinking and spread that to your children and have them spread it to their children and have your kids being the better version of who you are? How do you express those things? How do you do these things? Like, what difference are you going to make knowing that you don't like your situation? Knowing that you hate your situation, knowing that you're in a situation and you have to create something that's different, that's very unique, that's going to propel you out your situation so that you don't have to let anyone else go through that situation. How do you provide these perspectives and create a version of yourself that is abundantly um, uh, expressive, abundantly empowered, abundantly at peace, abundantly wealthy, abundantly healthy, abundantly strong, um, abundant with service? How can you make your existence full of light for yourself and for others? You don't want to take on your parents' um, ways of doing things if it has brought you to a level that hasn't empowered you. You always want to be the better version of what they did because they did the best that they can in certain situations. And sometimes they don't want you to be better than them and they don't want you to excel past them, and that becomes a cage and that becomes a threshold that you have to deal with, and they start to live vicariously through you with the rules that they placed on themselves and the barriers that they placed on themselves. But how can you go out there in the world and break those barriers and create the new version and the new way of doing things? How can you uplift? How can you change the narrative? And this is when you start to become confident because you start to learn culture. You start to learn the music that you came from. You start to learn the foods that your people started to eat. You started to learn the health processes that creates uh, uh, um, that glow in your body, the wealth concepts that keep you economically free, the thought processes that make your mind free and thinking, and um, the 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 lifestyles that you're attracted to that keep you empowered. And there isn't no right or wrong lifestyle. See, the thing is, you can do whatever the fuck you want, right? But as long as you're doing it in the confidence and not feeling guilty about what you do, because the moment you start to feel guilty about what you do, that's not for you. If you have to feel guilty and hide yourself, it's not for you. That's not your lifestyle. If you cannot do what you do and walk in the confidence and the light of who you are, that's not who you are. because you're hiding from yourself, because your surroundings really don't really give a fuck, but you're hiding from yourself, right? So how can you take your lifestyle and your mindset and mold it into that person, or mold it into that thing that you would love to project out to the world? What is holding you back? The only thing that's holding you back is the molding that you haven't attacked. You're waiting for someone who you think is at a level or a platform to validate you. And that person doesn't even validate themselves. Every day I wake up, I validate and affirm who I am as a man and as a human being. No one can tell me who I am. I would listen to critique because some people can see what you can't see from afar, and I take those things, I digest it, I apply it, I say, that's for me, is it for me? No, 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 and I make a conscious decision. I may be wrong sometimes, I may be right, but I live with the decision of finding out who I am as a man and why it is important for me to find out my culture, right? So that I create the new culture for my kids and for the people in my environment. So I know for myself, I come from Jamaican background. I come from an African background. I come from an Indian background. I come from the streets. I lived in the suburbs. I like Chinese food. I like pizza. I like basketball. No, I love these things. I don't like these things. I love these things. I love pretty women of all colors. I love to have fun. I love comedy. I love tech. I love economics. I love movies. I love to read. I love to dine and eat. I love to take road trips. I love to race. I love to drink tea in the morning. I love to converse and to build with other like-minded people. I love to listen to all types of genres of music. I love to um, go outside and go in a park and meditate. I love to smoke a weed from time to time at the back door and look at the trees and look at the stars and listen to the birds and let them speak to me in my soul. I love these things. Sometimes I don't like uh, cutting my beard. Sometimes I let my beard grow, you know. Sometimes I like 4 braids. Sometimes I like 2 braids. Yes, my hair is braided. I love that because it's my identity and what I chose to do, and it's just who I am. You know, I love that. You know, I love the things that I do because it makes me me and it makes me unique in who I am. And for me to come to that conscious decision and find out what I like, I'm creating culture for myself. And these are the things that I'm going to pass on to my offspring because everyone is going to be different and they have to love what they do because while you're loving what you do, you have a light that is going to project onto others and it's going to be contagious and spread like a virus. And with me saying that, my new project R is out right now, available on all platforms. Project titled the letter R, artist name L8K on all platforms right now, going viral. Check me out, download that, share that, subscribe. Ooh wee. Yes, let's talk about it. It's culture, baby. This is the culture. And while you listen to my music, you will hear my story of who I am and how I used it and molded it in a way that's very unique for me to sound like myself with the essence of other people that I listen to who you can hear the influences. And I'm not ashamed to say that because I love their music. So and their light had to shine on me so that I could create who I am. And within me creating who I am, right? Someone else is gonna listen to me and do the same thing. And that just the jazz, it's the jazz effect. I call it the jazz effect. Because the jazz is the music that's off the scale, off the Richter. It's perfect in its imperfection, and once you realize that you're perfect in your imperfections, you start to create your own jazz. Isn't jazz smooth, relaxing, thought-provoking, uh, studious, mad, fun, exciting, mumble, simple, clear, chaotic, but it all comes to jazz. And this is the culture that we're coming from. And from that culture of jazz, we can take this and we can take that ingredient and this ingredient and that ingredient and create our own jazz and create our own movement, create our own culture. So there's no reason why you should look in the mirror and see anything else but beauty, because you look like you, because you look like you, and God created you that way. And someone is lying to you, telling you that beauty is this and beauty is that. No, beauty is you and how you see yourself. And once you carry yourself like that, no matter how you look, people are going to embrace you like white on rice. Right? Like fly on shit. Like like duck sauce on lo mein. You feel me? Like curry on rice. Like jerk sauce on jerk chicken and ardo bread. You feel me? You're going to feel like pasta sauce on the pasta, the prego. You feel me? Within those, all those dishes are loved by all types of people because they're from all different types of cultures, and people cross cultures and they like what they like and they experience what they experience and they do what they do, and they live with that love of experience that creates joy for them. And that is why culture is very important in creating confidence. So you yourself have to go out there, seek, find, and use uh, uh, your God-given abilities to find out what your culture is, so you can create your confidence, because you are who you confide in, which is confidence. And you start to know that the density of who you are is unique to the world. So now you start to con yourself into believing that you are who you are. And we're going to end it like that. Are available now on all platforms. L8K. You can check me out on my Instagram. L8 Bloomer underscore K. Social media. Google me, L8K. I am that I am. I am the culture, not a culture vulture. If they spit out that poison and gave it to me, I ate it like a vulture and spit it back out into the pure. And we gonna end it like that. Us. And we gonna end it like that.